of the remote freelancer, how do we actually make money? Well, like I said, there's basically just two things that we need. You need to have a skill that you can do remotely, and you need to have clients who are willing to pay you for the skill. You combine those things and then you make money. It's like a magical equation that, to be honest, this is how commerce and services and stuff have been working since the dawn of time. It's just that it's easy to forget that in today's like laptop world. So step one for that is clearly you need to have some kind of skill and some kind of thing that people will pay for, because ultimately money is just an exchange of value. I say this every time I make one of these videos, money is just an exchange of value. You have to be able to provide value to people who are willing to see that value and pay for it for you to actually make money. Now, there is an absolutely huge list of skills that you could potentially learn. If you go on any of these freelance websites, you will see there are hundreds, if not thousands of potential skills that people are out there paying for. And if you don't have a skill, all you have to do is learn one or two of these things that you find somewhat interesting to warrant actually learning them, and then you can find people to pay you for the thing. Now, in the video description, I've compiled like a PDF of some of the skills that I would recommend. You can check that out if you like. But the other thing you might want to think about is when it comes to learning skills, like A, what are the skills you already have? If you had to go out there and make money right now, what's the sort of service that you'd be offering people? If hypothetically you were just gonna knock on doors, that's probably the skill you already have. If you already have a job, then you've obviously got skills, because you wouldn't have a job if you didn't have skills. So at this point, we've addressed the skill side of the equation. And then the question becomes, how do we actually find the clients? Now, there's loads of ways of going about this. Again, use some resourcefulness and initiative once you've gotten to that point. You can go through freelance websites like Fiverr and Upwork and People Per Hour. I generally wouldn't recommend that. There's like zillions of people also trying to do that. So what you want to do is show some initiative, be a little bit proactive, and try and find interesting other ways to find clients for your services. Now, there are two classes of clients that I find quite interesting. The first one is creators. I'm very familiar with the audience of creators. I really like the idea of targeting creators because you can look at someone's YouTube channel, you can find creators that you already like and follow and stuff, and you can see who are the ones who are making money, who your skill would potentially benefit. And then what you can do is you can just reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed you are a YouTuber. I have this skill that could help you. Here are all the reasons why it would help you. You craft a nicely crafted email that makes it very easy for them to say yes. You maybe offer to work for free for a week and see what happens. And if they like you, then great. And if not, then that's totally fine. It means your skills need to improve. Like, it's generally fairly easy to contact creators because they are contactable on all these social platforms. And you know they probably have money based on just a quick analysis of their YouTube channels, for example. And then the other interesting type of person to target is businesses, but crucially, boring businesses. A boring business is a business that's boring. An orthodontist, a dentist, a plumber, an electrician, a builder. These are boring ass businesses that is like makes up 95% of businesses out there. They're not the sexy tech startups. It's quite hard to get a job working for those guys because those people are trying to work for them. But there's loads of boring businesses around your area where the business owners are desperate to find people who are competent to provide them with certain skills. I know loads of people who are students, for example, who manage to make money by selling social media marketing services to local businesses. You understand social media, they probably don't. They need an Instagram audience, they need a Twitter presence, they need a LinkedIn presence. It's fairly trivial to target some of these boring businesses that no one else is targeting because they're in your local area and offering them something. And the nice thing about targeting businesses is that businesses have money to spend. The other mistake that people get into, this is people of all levels, is that because you are an individual, then you think like an individual and you value things like an individual. But it's like the way an individual values money is so radically different to the way a business values money. If a business can see an ROI, a return on investment, they'll happily throw money at a problem, especially if you can demonstrate decent communication and the fact that you have a skill. The other important thing here is that you need to make yourself findable and present yourself in a nice way. So this involves having a decent Twitter account, having a decent LinkedIn profile, probably depending on the niche that you're targeting, probably having your own personal website that actually looks somewhat reasonable. It's so easy to make a website these days. Anyone can put one together. And to be honest, it's so easy to make a competent and professional looking website these days.